Comment, bienvenue. Sunny Friday. I don't know if it's sunny over where you are, Jiten, but it's sunny Friday here in good old Anglaterra. Once again, this is a live stream featuring Jiten Chavda of Expat Finance. Now, Expat Finance is specifically aimed for people based in Sweden who are expats from anywhere else, frankly, but are based in Sweden, and of course are subject to the laws, restrictions, and regulations based over there. Now, today we're talking about a particular topic that many people find quite perplexing, which is pensions. What will you start us off, Jiten, please?
Well, what I wanted to talk to about, especially people in Sweden, they'll all be receiving orange envelopes. That's the big thing in Sweden. A big orange envelope arrives through your
orange envelope.
Big orange envelope. And people based in Sweden will all know about the big orange envelope. Once that actually arrives, that gives them an indication of what their pension in Sweden's like and what they're likely to get at retirement. Now, the important thing is when you receive one of those, don't just sort of put it away, which most people do. Just have a look at it. There's a few changes that people can actually make to make their pensions a little bit more efficient. So from the Swedish side of things, let's look at the state pension for one. Okay. Everybody in the UK, everybody in Sweden, sorry, that pays tax has to pay 18.5% of their taxable income to the state for their retirement. From that 18.5%, 16% goes into what they call the income pension side of it, where you have no control over it. The government decides on where that money is going to be invested. The other 2.5%, which is called the premium pension, you have control over that. You can actually decide where that money is going to be invested. Now, a lot of people don't actually even look at that. They'll just ignore it and it will go into a default fund. Now, if you've got a long way to go before you're going to receive your state pension, it's worthwhile making it more of an aggressive portfolio. Oh. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's so what you're saying is by default, it'll be pushed somewhere fairly anodyne and not necessarily going to do anything great guns. But what you can do with that last 2% is say, I like to put it somewhere a bit more imaginative.
That's exactly it. And you can do that with those 2.5%. And it's worthwhile doing it this time of the year. There's a site that you need to go on to, which is called minpension.se. Everybody in Sweden should know about that. Log into that. Min pension, M-I-N.
Yes.
M-I-N pension.se.
I'm going to put that up as a little banner in a second. M-I-N pension.se.
Yeah. Okay. Log into that with your bank ID. Yeah, and then you can see what your pension is forecast is. It's really important to do that because also within that you'll have information about your company pension as well. Now, the company pension, a lot of people, again, they join a company, they get a company pension, and guess what? They never review it. Now, I don't know if you're aware that you can actually get reviews with your pension through your pensions department or your HR department. So have meetings with the pensions advisor that's managing the pension in Sweden for you. It's really important you do this because a lot of people don't do this. So please make sure you do that. So that's the Swedish pension side of it. Now, remember
if you do have that meeting to discuss it, what's your expected outcome from that? What are you looking to do?
This again, very good question there, Gareth. It depends on their age. So, you should have a meeting with them, whether you're younger or older. Now, when you're younger, you want your portfolio to be a lot more aggressive because we know over a longer period of time that even though the portfolio is more aggressive, it's going to give you a better return.
So what you're saying is there could be short-term fluctuations, but if you have a more aggressive one over a longer period, it's likely to come out great gun.
Yes. Now, if you've got a shorter time to go to retirement, then obviously you don't want an aggressive portfolio. You want a more cautious portfolio. So again, that portfolio will be geared, ideally for you. But you need to sit down with the pensions advisor to tell them that because they're not going to know. And if it's a small pot you've got, if it's a small pot related to any other pensions you've got, then be more aggressive with it because it's only a small portion of it.
Right. Yes, of course. Yeah, you could come out great guns with that
yes.
All right.
So that's the Swedish pension side of it. Now the UK pension side of it, anybody that's been in Brits in Sweden would have noticed there's lots of people talking about the national insurance contributions in the UK. There's a deadline coming up. Now, the deadline basically states that from now up to April, you can go back to 2006 and fill up any missing years you've got. Okay. After April, you'll only be able to go back 6 years. So people that have been in Sweden for any length of time want to fill up those national insurance years. It's very important you do that, because let me explain something to you. The maximum state pension you currently get is 12,500, 12,750 to be precise. That's the maximum state pension. Now, to get that, you need to have paid 35 years of national insurance contributions. Okay. Now, if you do 35 years of national insurance contributions, that will give you the maximum state pension. But let's say you've only done 10 years worth of national insurance contributions. Now, remember this, in the UK, you have to add 10 years of national insurance contributions to get anything from the state pension. That's the minimum you need. In Sweden, it's 3 years, by the way. But in the UK, it's 10 years. So if you've done 9 years of national insurance contribution in the UK, you'll get nothing from the state pension.
Good Lord.
You get nothing.
So,
but you can
just by filling up that last portion, you could suddenly go between nothing and something, frankly.
Yes, exactly it. So if you look at the state pension at the moment, if you had 10 years of contributions, you would get a state pension of roughly £3,500 a year. Right. Okay. That's if you've got 10 years of national insurance contribution. Now let's just add an extra year to that. So you've now got 11 years worth of national insurance contributions. So if you've got 11 years worth of national insurance contributions, then, sorry about this.
Not at all.
Then your state pension is going to be £3,928 just by having one extra year.
That's quite a jump.
It's a big jump. Now the question is, how much is it going to cost you? It's a difference of £357, £360. But just having one extra year. And that's every year at retirement.
Wow.
So if you live to your 80, then you're going to get it every single year until you're 80.
Of course.
So it's a big difference.
Yeah, well, it's not knowing, I guess.
That's the thing. But this now leads on to, there's two different types of national insurance contributions that you can make. Voluntary national insurance contribution. Class 3 and Class 2. For most people, it'll be Class 2 national insurance you need, which is £190 it costs you. So it costs you £190, but at retirement, you'll get an extra £357.
Wow.
It's a no-brainer.
It is an absolute no-brainer. You should
almost
do it reflexively.
So all the people that haven't gone back and utilised the years while they've been in Sweden, please go ahead and do it now. Now, the good thing is the UK government, when you ring them up, they actually will give you a callback date. And they'll call you back after, and it's up to 2 months, by the way. They could call you back 2 months down the line. But what they're saying is, once they've given you the call back and the reference number, it means that even if you speak to them after April, you'll still be entitled to go back to 2006.
Oh, I see. So that's very clever.
Yeah.
So you should almost just make them a call anyway, and
exactly it.
So
then you can still go back to 2006. If you can't, and you've only been here less than 6 years, it doesn't really affect you this deadline, because you can always do it later on in the year, because they're going to be busy this time of the year. But it's really important that you actually get on the bandwagon of this now and don't lose the money, because once you've lost it, that's it. 2016, then you can only go back 6 years. It's quite a lot.
It's gone. Yes, quite
exactly. Then the thing alongside then the other pensions that people have got in the UK is either a company pension scheme, which could either be a final salary pension scheme, or it could be a money purchase scheme. If it's a final salary scheme, it's worthwhile getting reports from them once a year, just to give you an indication of what it's actually going to be worth at retirement. So when you're planning your retirement, you can say, actually, if I carry on the way I am, this is what I can do at the age of 55, 60 or 70. So you can know how much money you need. But this is the important thing with retirement, by the way. This is my little tip I'd like to leave everybody with today, if that's okay with you, unless you've got any more questions, Gareth, is that as soon as you retire, that's the time to spend the money. Really important, because yes, that's the time. Because when you retire, let's say you retire at the age of 60 or 65, if you retire at that age, the likelihood you're going to live till you're going to be healthy until you're about 75. That's when you're going to spend your money. After that stage, you're going to probably be at home, not be as active, but you're not going to spend as much money.
It's a wind down at that stage.
Yes. Ask your parents, elderly parents, how much money they spend now compared to what they were spending before. You'll find they spend very little now compared to what they were spending before. So the idea is from retirement until around about 75, or when your health deteriorates, spend the money because you're not going to need as much. Most people's mentality is, I'm going to need the same amount of money for the next 30 years. That isn't the case after retirement.
Wow. I've never heard a financial advisor advise you to spend, but I understand the point. What you're saying is you can't take it with you, and you might as well enjoy it while you can. Wow, that's a bombshell. So,
well, I'm going to add another quick bombshell related to pensions with this, just to make people aware of it. In 2 years, the government's going to change some rules as far as inheritance tax is concerned. Okay. Now, the rules they're actually changing is currently what they do, they look at your estate, includes your property, cash, any other assets you've got, whatever that's totally worth. If you were married and one person's passed away, you've got about £1 million, which is going to be tax-free to your next of kin. Okay. Now, what the government, and that doesn't include a pension. In 2 years' time, the pension is
include a pension.
It does not include a pension. But in 2 years' time, the government's going to put pension into that pot as well.
Really?
So that person that's passed away, whatever their pension pot's worth, is going to be added to that person's estate.
Oh God, that's going to make the probate figures even higher.
Exactly. Now, this is just going to leave you with these few figures. If somebody were to die today and they were divorced and they had an estate worth 2.4 million, the estate would have to pay a tax bill, inheritance tax bill of £40,000. Okay. If they now left it for another year, there's some benefits that are going to be reduced next year. Their tax bill, or the estate's tax bill, is going to be 80,000. Okay?
That's ridiculous.
No, wait for this, Gareth. The following year, this person's got a pension pot, by the way, in their pension, in their estate. The following year, the pension pot gets added to it, and it's £480,000. That's what the estate's going to have to pay.
But that's nuts.
That's the way the government's proposing it.
Is this a white paper, or is this actually gone through the upper house as well?
It's gone through. They're just going through the formalities of it.
So it's as good as in law.
More or less as good as gold, yeah. So I've got clients at the moment whose elderly parents have got pension pots that are relatively big, and they're trying to give the money away. Now, if you want to give the money away, you have to survive 7 years.
Yes.
But at least it's some way of going down that route of, otherwise, unfortunately, there's going to be a massive inheritance tax bill to be paid. So just to bear in mind, that's pensions in the pot in 2 years.
Sorry, so just giving me personal pause there. I'm just thinking I should start, well, probably not yet. I mean, I've just literally, Jiten, this week, he says, hit 60. It was my birthday on the 18th. So I'm thinking probably from my 70s, I should start thinking about giving away whatever assets I have.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense. It really does. So anyway, that's another conversation for another day, I think.
Well, okay. Well, thank you very much indeed for shaking me to my very core. That was quite a shock. But no, it bears repeating, guys. If you have got missing years with your national insurance, get on it now. Get them sorted out. Bring them up to date, because beyond, what's the date in April?
5th of April.
Beyond the 5th of April, you won't be able to go back that far. Whereas at the moment, you can go back all the way back to 2006. You can go back the best part of 19 years right now. Whereas back past then, you'll only be able to go back a much shorter period.
6 years.
It's ridiculous. So we need to step on it. Well, I suppose, look, it sharpens the mind if you have these resolves in place. And look, as usual, Jiten's given us much food for thought. If you guys find that interesting, or you want to start the journey, your financial wellness journey, can you see the QR code, which is in the town clock just above Jiten's head there? If you scan that, you can start the conversation. There we go. There we go. Perfect. But until next time, try and keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. And for those of us that are getting close to pension age, make sure that your national insurance contributions have been paid up. But until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.